Wednesday. Today is my third installment, and today we are going to talk about sleep because sleep is pretty much the cornerstone of our good health because it makes such a difference on so many different levels. So I'm just going to go over a little bit about how sleep deprivation affects us negatively, and also I've got a superb free resource to give to you, which is all about helping you get better sleep naturally. So hey Catherine, lovely to see you. So I mean, essentially I think we've all experienced crappy sleep. I did as a mother. My daughter, she would sleep for like 2 hours and then wake up. And she did have what we called camper's cough. We went camping when she was tiny, 8 weeks old, and most people on the campsite caught this blessed cough, and she had it. And I blame that on setting her up for poor sleeping habits. However, now she's a teenager, can't get her out of bed. She's a real bed bunny. So for you mothers with young babies, it does get better, I promise, really. But God, it was hard. And then going through my divorce was that's when it all came back again. Trying to get to sleep, I'd be up ironing at 3 a.m. because I just could not sleep, and I really struggled through those months, years. And I'm sure that had I slept better, I probably would have managed those really awful times even better. So anyhow, enough of me. I just wanted to go over a few things to sort of explain why we really do need to prioritize sleep. You know, we are the only species that restricts our sleep. Why do we do it? There's some machismo about even pulling an all-nighter. You know, I hear so many people say, oh, you know, if you want to build a business, you've just got to sacrifice your sleep. If you want to achieve success, you've got to sacrifice your sleep. That's such a load of balderdash, because it's been scientifically proven that our brains don't work so well when we are tired. And it's not that they just don't work so well, they work chronically badly. And the other things that happen in our bodies have a negative impact on us as well. So, I think it's a load of balderdash. We need our sleep. We need quality sleep. Out of interest, in the 1960s, we were sleeping around about 8 to 9 hours a night. And now, what is it? The average is about 5 to 6 hours a night. And we're seeing an increase of Alzheimer's. We're seeing an increase in other sort of neurologically degenerative disorders. And there is scientific evidence pointing to the fact that some of that could also be sleep related. Okay, you know, alcohol, drugs, smoking, lack of exercise, obesity are not helping either. But sleep is such a cornerstone part of our optimal health. You know, when we don't sleep well, it's not like a bank account. So you can't like stick a load of money in it or a load of sleep Zs in it and then think, oh, I'll just pull a few out occasionally. It doesn't work like that. We actually need regular, consistently good regular sleep. And I know we all vary with our daily needs or our nightly needs. I think if I get 7 hours of good sleep, I'm good to go. Some people will need 8 or 9, and others can probably thrive on 6. But there's a lot of scientific evidence pointing to around about, if you can get sort of 7 hours on average, you're doing pretty well. So I just want to go over a few things which are going to be a problem if we keep letting ourselves be sleep deprived. And the daft thing about this is it's pretty much self-imposed. We can improve the quality of our sleep by just taking a few simple steps. And I've got a resource that I will link to with this. It's completely free. You can use it. It's a natural sleeping habits document that will give you tips on, basically it'll go over what I'm going to say in here, but in more depth, and it'll give you that list to have a look at and tell you a bit more about it. There's also a deep breathing exercise in there too. So first of all, for you fellas, if you are sleep deprived, your testicles are going to be smaller than those fellas who get a good night's sleep. It's been scientifically proven. I'm not entirely sure what the size difference is, but you could be looking at a difference between a prune and a fig, maybe. So, and also your sperm levels are reduced. I think it was something I can't remember if it's 21 or 29% decrease in your sperm production if you are sleep deprived. Women, we also struggle also with our sexual organs and our reproductive organs. Sleep deprivation is not good if you are trying to get pregnant. So it's just something to bear in mind. It has been scientifically proven. Also, when we don't get enough sleep, so there are a couple of food hormones. So our gut releases various hormones, and one of them tells us that we have eaten enough, which is called leptin, and the other one called ghrelin tells us that we're hungry. Well, when we are sleep deprived, we don't create enough leptin, so we still think we're hungry when we're not, and we create more ghrelin, which is our body saying, thank you for the hearts. It's not our body saying thank you for the hearts. It's saying that we want to eat again and we don't need to. It's telling us that we're hungry and we're not. And one of the major problems when we are sleep deprived is that we then also reach for the refined carbs. Our body's saying, I want fast sugar, give it to me. So it'll be the cookies, it could be the crisps, it could be the chips, whatever that might be. But we tend to not make the wisest decisions food wise when we're sleep deprived, and it's because of that leptin and ghrelin imbalance, those hormones that our gut produces. So that's one thing. Now, I really noticed this year, but all of us twice a year are part of an experiment, and you probably don't know that you're part of it. When the clocks jump forward in spring, there is a 29% increase in heart attacks the day after it. And that's just 1 hour less of sleep a night. There is a corresponding increase in the amount of suicides and also road traffic accidents. I mean, that's pretty astounding. And this year, for some reason, I really felt that hour. I don't know why. I normally sleep quite well. It actually sent me out of kilter for about a week. But conversely, in autumn, when the clocks go back an hour, there's a similar reduction. I think it's a 21% reduction in the rates of heart attacks and suicide and road traffic accidents. And that happens every single year. And that just goes to show how important our sleep is. And that happens, obviously, globally. We're all subject to that. Hey guys, thank you so much for the thumbs up. Yeah, we're all subject to that. So, I mean, how scary is that? 1 hour can make such a massive, massive difference on so many different levels. So also another thing, when we are lacking in sleep, our killer cells, which help to support our immune system, is quite incredible. There is, I can't remember the percentage drop, it's scary, it's about 70% drop. So somebody who sleeps around 5 hours compared to somebody who sleeps in excess of 7 hours will see a 70% drop in the activity of their killer cells. And killer cells are what help us fight cancerous cells in our bodies, because we've all got them, but our immune system generally can nuke them. Also, killer cells reduce inflammation. So when our killer cells are low, obviously we're running the risk of developing tumours, we're running the risk of creating chronic inflammatory diseases, obviously heart attacks and that sort of thing. So again, another it's a really credible reason why we need to improve our sleep. Also, there's lack of sleep will affect our DNA. It actually affects our genes, and it doesn't just affect our genes across the board negatively. A lack of sleep will actually promote the activity of certain genes. So unfortunately, the activity of the genes it promotes are the ones that create inflammation in our body, and the activity in the genes which is suppressed are the genes which help to protect us against cancer cells and the baddies that lurk in our bodies. And we've all got those baddies, so we need an immune system that's going to be optimal and help to kill them off. And when you think that it's actually affecting the genes within our bodies, again, that's pretty bloody scary stuff. So there are a few things that you can do in order to help you sleep better. The first one I would always default to is obviously exercise, because that gobbles up stress hormones. It makes us make wiser choices through the day. it will help you burn up calories, but it also, because you're burning up calories, you're burning up energy, and so it's probably going to improve the quality of your sleep. The one thing to be aware of with exercise, now I used to run Krav Maga fight classes, like Fight Club, fitness classes, but we used to call them Fight Club because it was a bit like Fight Club. And God, we used to have so much fun. But those used to be between 7 and 9 o'clock on a Wednesday and a Friday evening. And I'm the only girl in the group, and I was fighting against big lads, and I would come back absolutely exhausted. But could I sleep? No way, because the adrenaline, one of the stress hormones, was busy pumping around my body, and it would be like 1 a.m. before I could actually nod off, and I would wake up the following day just feeling rotten and obviously covered in bruises. But if you work out too late, and if it's highly, yoga's probably okay, but if it's something that really boosts your cardio your cardio activity, having a brain fog moment here, it does make a massive difference, and it's going to spike your adrenaline. So avoid heavy exercise before you go to bed. Avoid caffeine, of course. Avoid too much alcohol. Avoid sugary stuff, because again, with alcohol and sugary stuff, your blood sugars are going to go sky high. You might go to sleep, but then your blood sugars are also going to then crash in the early hours, which is why if you've been out on a bit of a bender and you've had a lot of alcohol, you wake up in the early hours and you feel pretty rotten. It's because your blood sugars are crashing, and that makes you feel really awful, puts you into a stressed situation within your body. So not only have you had a shed load of empty calories because of your boozing, you are also busy putting fat onto your belly, because when we release cortisol, our bodies hang onto fat around our midriff the most. So be cautious about the amount of alcohol that you drink, and try and maybe cut it down a bit, or bear in mind that you might wake up with a feeling a little bit fatter around your middle, having probably not slept the best either. Also, you need to sleep in a slightly cooler room, around about 18 degrees centigrade. I hate staying in hotels because they're always too hot and they're always too stuffy, and I just cannot sleep. Put me in a tent anywhere on the world and I will be fine. And I think it's just because it's cooler, even in hotter climates. Often, eventually it gets cooler. My bedroom, I always sleep with the windows open. Even in the winter, I have the windows cracked. It's really important to have a cooler room. You want it about 2 to 3 degrees below ambient temperature. Some people find a heavy weighted blanket sort of soothing. It makes them feel comfortable, and it has been proven to make a difference to your sleep. Curtains, blackout curtains. Now, I don't sleep with curtains, but I do make sure I go to bed early enough so that when I wake up at sort of 5 o'clock-ish, I've had a good 7 hours of sleep. But if you struggle with that, blackout curtains or just heavy curtains are really going to help. Even though your eyes are closed, our skin and our body, even our internal organs, has light receptor cells in it. So that when if you've got, like me, got no curtains, when the day starts to dawn, your body is responding to that. So if you need to sleep for late, or if you've got young children that are waking up too early, you might want to put blackout curtains against their windows to help them stay asleep for a little bit longer. Avoid screens, particularly with blue lights. They're an absolute nightmare. They frazzle your brain. They affect the amount of melatonin that your brain creates, and they put you into stress as well. Even if you've got like a digital alarm that's got a blue light on it, turn it around so you can't see it. It's the blue that has a really negative effect on your brain. Orange and red are not so bad. But again, try and make sure you're sleeping in a dark room. Avoid, turn off the lights. It's better for the environment, and you don't need the lights on at night. The boogeyman's not going to come and get you, I promise. So yeah, that's another consideration. Get outside. So ultraviolet daily is so important to us. You only need sort of 20 to 30 minutes. I get mine because I go and take the dogs out for a walk, or just get in the garden for a while. However you can do it, ultraviolet helps to boost serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone, but also melatonin, which is the hormone that helps us to sleep. And around as dusk starts to brew, you'll find that your melatonin levels will start to rise naturally. If you struggle with sleep, you want to be encouraging that melatonin creation. So being outdoors, ultraviolet will stimulate the melatonin. When we wake up in the morning, our melatonin levels decrease and our cortisol levels increase, which gives us that motivation to get out of bed and get on with our day. That's also why I work out in the morning, because I know that from sort of 2 p.m. onwards, my cortisol levels are dropping off, and there's no way in merry hell you're going to get me working out at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If I've not done it in the morning, it's really unlikely that I'm going to get it done. I know how good it is for me, but if it's not been done in the morning, forget it. Things like meditation help too. If you struggle with sleep, deep breathing helps. In the sleep hygiene document I've got for you, there's a deep breathing exercise in there. So, you know, sometimes, I mean, you've just got to work out what works best for you specifically. If I'm really struggling, if I've got things on my mind, I've got a couple of meditations that I listen to on YouTube. One of them is one of the Wayne Dyer ones. I can't remember the name of the other one, but there is so many free meditations out there. You might just do your own. You might just be able to zone in. My brain is just like so I actually have to listen to something. I can't just sort of lie there and zone into my third eye and go all gloriously calm. It just doesn't work for me like that. So anyhow, I don't want to make this too long. I will put a link for the sleep hygiene document below here, so if you want to get hold of that, by all means do. And if you're watching this from my Instagram feed, the link will also be in my Linktree link underneath my bio. So click that, and that'll take you through to that as well. So I wish you all sweet dreams later on, and make sure to stick off the caffeine. Also, I know I mentioned that briefly, but after 2 p.m. no way. Some people even 12 p.m. And don't eat too late at night either. A big meal late at night, your body just doesn't need it that late. So if you end up eating late, try and just reduce the amount that you're eating. That's it. Those are my healthy sleeping strategies. So leave me comments below if you want me to discuss something else, or you've got suggestions for future Wellness Wednesdays. I'm happy to listen to what you guys want me to cover, and I will be back on Monday with Menopause Monday, and next Wednesday with another little bit of information to help you with optimal living. Have a great day, you guys. Speak to you soon.